good evening everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Land of Saints and Sinners with me, your host tonight, Richie Taylor, and I'm with my co-host, the wonderful, beautiful, the effervescent Jojo.
Well, hello, and thank you very much, Richard Taylor.
That's very fair. That's not a problem at all, my darling. I've got my words out. I got all jumbled up. We want to say thank you to all our new subscribers as well here on YouTube. We nearly got to the 1,000 mark, so please subscribe so we can get it monetized, so we can buy more equipment, because we need it. As you can tell, this is the best we've got, but it's good for now. We appreciate all you subscribers, and on X at Landsinners, something like that. Yeah. And we're on TikTok as well, which is exploding, which is brilliant. So find us on TikTok as well. All the links will be in this video. That's the advertisement over with. Now, we wanted to talk about this trade deal between the UK and India. And I'm not talking about the call centres. You remember when you call a call centre, right? And this isn't racist, this is just the truth. I'm a Welshman, right?
Yep.
It's hard for me to understand English, right?
Do you know when people actually put on an accent?
Yeah.
And they try and do the Welsh accent?
Yeah.
And then they sound Indian?
They sound,
what have you said?
My name is Richard. My name is Richard. I don't know you. They do that. They do the hair. They're McIntyre. Yeah. Yeah.
Why do they sound Indian when they're trying to do a Welsh accent?
I don't know, because I don't sound Indian, do I?
Well, I don't know,
when
actually.
I speak fast, you can do a Welsh accent.
Well, I think I can, but some people say that I sound Indian. Do you think I sound Indian?
No, you sound like you're from Swansea. You're a Swansea Jack.
Well, I used to live in Swansea, see?
Yeah, I know. We can tell by the accent.
Is it?
Yeah. Say mush.
Right. Mush.
Mush. All right, mush, what's happening?
All right, mush.
Yeah. So, we're not talking about Indian call centres, are we?
Like, no, we're not.
Because before we get on to this serious matter, I don't know when you're watching the podcast, but there's nothing worse when you phone up, whether it's for your gas, your electric, your water, or your broadband, and someone answers the phone and you can't understand the word, and you want to be nice, you want to be polite, but you're like, in the end, you just go, mate, literally, I can't understand a word you've just said. Like,
I find it awful because I don't want to actually appear racist in any way, shape, or form. It's just that I'm deaf in one ear, and so I really, really struggle. And so if I'm like holding a conversation and I'm there just like, what? Sorry, what are you saying? And they're really not clear, I have to ask if I can speak to somebody in English.
Yeah, I know.
And I feel really bad, and then I feel like I'm being racist, but I can't understand what's being said. And again, you know, if I wasn't deaf in this ear, it would probably be not an issue.
The worst one is when you are trying to get a conversation going with them, and then they start talking about things. Well, so what is the weather like where you are then? And you're like, I don't want to talk about the weather, I just want to pay the bill.
Yeah.
And they're asking you,
how was your day, man?
And I don't want to tell you about my day. That's not me being. I just want my broadband sorted. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I hear that.
We've taken a bit of a sidetrack there, haven't we? But this trade deal between the UK and India, it's in terms of trades and everything else, and tariffs. Free trade is a good thing.
Absolutely. We're not opposed to that, are we?
Absolutely not. I think that exchange is good. I mean, Trump obviously is in deep waters in some quarters on tariffs and everything as he's imposing different countries in Europe now. But when it comes to free trade, I'm a big believer in free trade. And I think it's beneficial for both countries to do that. But with this, there was something they didn't tell us, did they, with this trade deal, that the UK Prime Minister, your friend, the one and only, slippery, slimy,
Keir
Starmer.
Here's my...
Karma.
I always call him Keir... No.
What do you call him?
I call him Karma. I don't know why I call him Karma, but I just think Karma's going to come and get him, because I think he's actually leading us down a very dark path. And I think Mr.
You
Karma
could spell it with a K-U-N-T, couldn't you? But anyway, if you get the pun. So, yeah, he's done this deal, hasn't he, with Narendra Modi, whatever his name is. Yeah. So,
Modi.
What this deal that they've done then, we've only just got him, so it's why we've done this late podcast tonight. We weren't told the full story. Kemi Badenoch has come out and said that she doesn't agree with it.
Yeah. She refused it. She passed it on. She didn't want to, decide if she didn't want to deal with it. Yeah.
Farage had a lot to say. In fact, we've just listened to some of Farage's now to see what he had to say about it, and we'll come back then and talk about it. Just watch this.
So Keir Starmer has signed a free trade deal with India. Good, you might think. India, very, very important country, and one with whom we do need closer links and relations. And yet, if you look at the detail, it's truly extraordinary. So a company can transfer workers from India to the UK. Those workers here will not pay any national insurance for at least 3 years. So at the very same time, they're getting a big tax exemption. Taxes on British workers have been put up since the Labour government came to power. Worse still, remember what happened at the budget? Employers' national insurance went up by 2% for each worker, costing companies on average at least £1,000 £5 a year per worker. And yet, companies that bring in Indian workers, the companies themselves will pay no national insurance either. It means overall, it's about 20% cheaper to employ an Indian after this deal than it is to employ a British worker. On top of that, there are no limits to this deal at all. And bear in mind that 500,000 people, yes, 500,000 people, have come into the UK from India in the last 2 years alone. It's honestly impossible to predict how many hundreds of thousands more will come on this deal. There's been no impact assessment, no analysis of cost, and absolutely no analysis of what this will mean for burdens on the health service and elsewhere.
So, Farage was right because, you know, they didn't tell us the full depth of everything, did they? Which, in fact, Starmer did not tell us the full details. So he was planning this since November 24. Okay, so in Brazil, he had a sideline conversation about, hey, how can us and India kind of like have this kind of deal and this trade? And guess what? A week after Reform have gone in, they come out with another deal, which is just totally going to piss the people off. Yeah. I can't understand the man.
Well, I think he's digging a hole for himself in here, a massive hole. He's not using a spade, he's using a JCB. I think I mentioned that earlier, but he really is, you know, because you think about the state of Labour in now, they're losing so much support from ordinary, hardworking people. People just had an absolute guts full of them. They just, you know, they're feeling sick to the stomach. I mean, you've had conversations with people, I have had, you know, and people are just fed up with them, aren't they?
Can I ask you a question? A sincere question. Does anybody like Keir Starmer?
Yeah, do you like it?
Do you like Keir Starmer?
No, I can't stand the bloke.
But why can we not stand him? What is it about him that we're actually hating on?
Well, I think for me, I mean, you know, I don't know him personally, but when he makes promises, you know, in the pre-election, leading up to the elections in last year in July, he's reneged on so many of those promises and lied to the British public. And when you hold the highest office in the land as Prime Minister and you make promises to the people and they vote for you based on those promises and you break those promises, I have no trust, no faith, and can't stand the guy.